We are at, is my mic on?
Yeah, you are.
We're at 1:00 and we're going to call the policy committee meeting to order. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we are privileged to meet on the unceded and ancestral territories of the Squamish and Salvean nations. And with that, we have an agenda recommendation.
That the agenda of this meeting be approved.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, April. Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, and then we can move on to, there's a minute recommendation.
That the minutes of the policy committee meeting held on September 10th, 2025 be adopted.
Thank you, Cynthia. Second for that. Thank you, Melissa. Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, then that will bring us to trustee items. Lisa, you wanted to have a conversation about the personal electronic devices? You're muted. Are you able to unmute her?
Sorry, me already. I am so sorry about that. Yeah, I just wanted confirmation and to reassure the public that watches are part of that. Smartwatches are part of our policy and are not to be used in the classroom. Come to my attention that some students are still using that smartwatch. So just a reminder.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. And on behalf of the teachers in the classrooms and all those supporting kids during instructional time, thank you for the reminder. And yes, Section 8 of Policy 503, District Student Code of Conduct, is really clear and does include smartwatches. So thanks for the opportunity to remind folks of that, especially as we start off a new year of learning together.
Yeah. Thank you. That was all.
Thank you. Well, let's be honest, I wasn't even aware that your watches could work on their own without your phone nearby. So, okay, so that'll bring us to our information items. I didn't see any hands for any other comment. So we'll do the 2025-2026 policy review schedule. And I see Danielle, your name is there.
Yeah. So the schedule's attached there. There's no changes from the last time we met. I think internally the staff are going to be coming up with a schedule for this year, but which ones are going to be happening in which months, but we haven't done that yet. So you might see that at the next meeting.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, that was very quick. Very quick. Okay, so with that, we'll go to our discussion items and the policy 702 student fees and deposits. And Paul, I see you're up.
Yeah, thank you. So this one is really just kind of an organizational change to the document. There's no substantive change to the actual policy. It's just housekeeping, just removing and rewording just to make it a little bit more efficient on the page. And that's really it. I noticed there might have been a typo in the track changes, but interestingly enough, in the actual copy, that typo isn't there. So if there are any questions, I will do my best to answer them. I think one of the things I'll just mention is some of the things have been reordered a little bit. There were some items previously that were kind of in a paragraph, and so changed it to have some of those paragraphs listed multiple items. So we've actually listed them with numbers just to make it a bit more clear. And the opening paragraph is shorter because it didn't need to be as long as it was. So that's really it.
Okay, I think Celeste has her hand up and then she had a couple of things. Go ahead, Celeste.
I just had a question just about the content, just for anybody that's reviewing the policy for the first time. and clarification for us also. So what the policy is saying is that anybody who wants to have access to, let's say, the hockey academy, which is quite expensive from my understanding, there are resources available to allow students access if their families don't.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you're cutting out.
You cut out a little bit, Celeste.
Quite a bit there.
Yeah, but I think I caught the intent of your question, which was just to clarify that for folks who are interested in something like an academy or anything that has a fee attached to it. In some cases, some of these programs can get a little bit costly. We do have mechanisms in place so that families can talk to the principal, talk to the school, and assistance can be provided for those who may have some barriers for these programs. So we do have that in place.
Melissa? If there's a student who needs assistance, is that covering only the fees, or would that be covering, like, if you had a kid who was really keen on doing mountain bike club but couldn't afford a mountain bike, is that the sort of situation that they would be possibly assisted in borrowing one from the school if there's that availability?
Well, I think there are multiple ways to facilitate helping a family. And so if it was a situation where they needed equipment and the school had it, that's one way to do it. If the school didn't have it, then maybe, the school would look to problem solve another way to obtain the equipment for the students. So it depends on the situation, but I think,
And that has occurred.
yeah, that's right. And so the principals are very good at making sure that families or students are taken care of in that regard.
That's great, because I have seen that be a barrier, and I didn't realize that they could ask for help. The parents just kind of went, well, guess you don't get to do it. So that's good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, and I'm speaking about Pemberton in particular. I know that some of the academies have been subsidized,
Yeah.
but they can only do so many
Yeah.
of students, and also I've seen things posted where teachers or instructors who are running the programs have sought community support in loaner bikes or what have you.
That's excellent.
I'm not sure how much that's publicized or not, or.
Yeah, I think the practice typically of the principals would be when they're communicating about these programs, they would put something in the communication about if you have any questions, or if, you'd like to discuss, financial options, please contact me, that
Yes,
kind of a
you're right.
thing.
I have
Yeah.
seen that
Yeah.
for sure.
We do have to be careful. There are people who might. No,
I know.
I'll just add, though, there are cases where, because it's come up before, if it's a special trip that might be happening over a break that isn't necessarily or isn't connected to curricular goals, then sometimes we have worked with third-party operators, and that is an optional opportunity. And while I know schools and folks do their best to try to raise additional monies to help out where we can, we do not guarantee access to all international trips if they're not related, because they're not related to curriculum, which is what
They're
this
extras,
covers.
yeah.
This is extra.
Yeah.
And so I think that's an important point as well, because it's come up in the past, and
Yeah.
that piece about equity.
Yeah.
So school communities will often try and do their best to support, but it isn't a given that if there's an international trip over, say, spring break, that's open to everyone. And that's just being honest and transparent around just access sometimes. So again, just to clarify that, when we're looking at curricular related opportunities, like that Paul spoke to today, those absolutely want to ensure the barriers are as low as possible, and subsidize where we can. For other,
But anything required by the curriculum,
Yes.
there's no fee attached
that's
to
right.
it
That's right.
in the first place.
So it's
So,
that's the difference. So just to make that clear for the.
So an academy isn't required for
That's right.
graduation. It's an additional
Yeah.
opportunity.
That's right.
But same with mountain bike club. It's an
That's right.
extracurricular.
That's right.
Yeah. But there is support for that.
But we do our best to support
Yeah.
every student. That's right.
Thank you. Okay, I don't see any other. And so then that will bring us to policy 902, School Parent Advisory Council. Chris, I see you're on that one.
Thank you very much. I did want to point out the big change. There was just some housekeeping around language just for clarity. Thank you, Celeste, who sent some further housekeeping clarifications, which I appreciate, just for consistency in terms of if we've named a PAC, the Parent Advisory Council, and given the acronym, we'll use the acronym throughout, ensuring that when we speak to parent, we say parent guardian. I wanted to make clear, though, I did feel I wanted to add the second part of the first paragraph in the background, just for a clarity that PACs are their own entities, that, again, reminding folks, public, that they're not committees of the board, and they have that autonomy. But this policy is in support of PACs on behalf of the board. And so we just, again, ensured that we referenced the School Act. And then the other change I noted on here, we had talked in 2.1.6 that the Constitution would go to the board, and that really was a miss in 2020 when we did the change with websites and whatnot. We know that's actually how we've been, and PACs have been communicating to the public and to fellow parents and guardians and ourselves, by ensuring that the Constitution bylaws are provided annually, and it will say now ensure their Constitution bylaws are provided to the school annually for distribution via the school website. So that's just a slight change in wording from what I had, and specifically it's on the website where it needs to be apparent. It doesn't have to go to the board because the board doesn't approve it. So wanted to make that change as well.
Cynthia?
This is only super minor. I think it's like, is it the, I think the very beginning that.
Cynthia, you can't hear.
Oh, sorry.
It might not be on.
Okay, it is a super minor, just in the section. In the blue, you read along in section 8, that the third line, the reason should say maybe the school acts are autonomous organizations established under section.
Yeah.
Under section 8. Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was one of the pieces I missed. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Other housekeeping, Celeste got like the capital S instead of the small s after PACs, etc. Thank you, Celeste. Thank you, Cynthia.
Share one with her.
Hey, any other questions? Hearing none, then we have next we have policy 903, community partnerships, corporate partnerships. Danielle.
Yeah. Okay, mostly minor changes to this one. We added a definition of terms in here. As well, I updated it so that would reflect better what's happening in the district. So originally it had in there that the board would all of these kind of partnerships and sponsorships would go to the board for ratification. And the reason why I removed that is because we are dealing with like these partners every day. And so for us to come and get approval to work with community partners, like we work with a lot of not-for-profits, with out of school care, also with the not-for-profits with our farms. So I just didn't think that we should be bringing that to the board every time we're working with a new partner on something, because it's very operational. And then we don't really have much for sponsorships. Some of it's being done at the school level. And so like, for instance, if there's like a fashion show or like there's like a silent auction or something like that, it could be like stuff happening there and we're not even seeing that. So I don't think we should bring that to the board either, because it's super operational. So that part's been removed, that it has to be ratified by the board to bring those type of things forward. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Okay, looks like Celeste has a question.
That's one of the things that I flagged. I wonder, that makes sense, Danielle, about you guys having to manage these things on a frequent basis. I wonder if we could have something that says over a certain dollar amount, it will be brought, like, just to have, it's not that you guys can't do it, but just to have another set of eyes when it's over a certain dollar amount, so that we're being really, because this kind of stuff, it can be tricky, and just that next level of scrutiny. So for the little dollar amounts, for sure, just go ahead and do it. You guys know what you're doing. But as a careful way to manage this tricky area of business, I mean, you might know better than us what an appropriate dollar amount is, but I think it might not be a bad idea to have that level of screening over, like, I don't know, $10,000 or more. I don't know what's normal, so you tell us.
Yeah. So like right now, just I'll let you ask a second, but right now, for instance, we're working with Squamish Can to do our Feeding Futures program. So that's actually a bigger dollar amount. But we work with them on like many different projects, so school farms and then the Feeding Futures thing. So
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I think I know why this was put in. And I think that maybe should be particular about writing in nonprofit, because what happened was Coca-Cola machines were brought into the high school at the request of the principal of the day. And that is why this was brought in. And I don't know how to write this to avoid that situation. Right now, you're right. We have all nonprofit. I love the silent auction things, but bringing a corporation into a school, this, by encouraging corporate sponsorships, we are actually opening that up again. And it was closed very specifically. So I don't know. I think we need to reword it.
If I recall, there was something that came up in the last couple of years as well, like a for-profit business was wanting to put something in our schools.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Celeste, I see your hand still up, but Cynthia's gonna go next and then I'll go back to you.
I think, so maybe two things. One, like touching on what April said, I was curious too about how, when we struck the words limit the establishment, I think I should say to encourage, like that seems like two totally different things. Maybe we need to differentiate between our community partnerships and corporate sponsorships as to whether or not these are nonprofit organizations or actual real for-profit organizations and corporations. Maybe that's where there's a distinction to be made. And then, no, I think that's all. Yeah.
Okay.
I-
Celeste?
Yeah, I feel like you could, so have for 1.1, say to the superintendent or delegate for approval, period. And then have below that like a 1.1.1 that says something like,
Oh, that's.
corporate sponsorships over X dollars will go to the board of for ratification after being approved by staff or something like that. Does that capture what we're trying to do?
I think Celeste, that sort of reminded me of what my thinking was on that. Maybe the board could have information or be able to evaluate or approve or whatever it is on the initial establishment of the relationship. So if it's someone new coming in, the information can come to the board for discussion. And then once we've approved that partnership, then it's left to staff to.
I mean, I don't even see the ones that are coming for like the silent auctions and stuff. So I'm not sure if we should go down that route, having every single person who's donate something.
Yeah. Melissa?
Is there ever a point with working with corporations where it could look like the school is being paid off for anything?
Yeah. I
So
think that's
how-
what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah,
Keep going around here. So, Celeste, your hand's up again?
Yeah, so Danielle, would having a dollar amount, like a certain dollar amount threshold for the board having to just look at what's happening, solve the problem that you're worried about?
Yeah, I think maybe on this corporate sponsorship side, probably not on the not-for-profit side, because I have a lot of not-for-profit agreements where we're renting out spaces and stuff like that.
If we put in the profit or non-profit, would we capture those companies like Coca-Cola? I mean, they would say that it would be non-profit for the school, right? The school benefits from having.
No, they're for profit.
Well, they are, but the
Yes.
school isn't,
We're an offer, yeah. We're a
right? You know what I
registered
mean? Like the
charity.
reason that the Coca-Cola dispenser was in the school was it gave money from Coca-Cola, it gave a percentage of it to the school, which would be considered nonprofit. Of course, Coca-Cola took
Yeah, they're for
it as
profit.
well, but I think that the reason Coca-Cola wanted it in was to get children interested in the product, not the money from the machine. Because the money from the machine went to fund different things in the school,
I see.
right? So I don't know if you'd capture it. It was really bad. I'm just warning you guys, it was bad.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is all a little more complex than I initially
Mhm.
thought,
Mhm.
how to capture it.
Yeah.
Cynthia?
I'm almost wondering if this needs to be two different policies, if community partnerships are
I was
one
just
thing
thinking that.
and corporate sponsorship is
Yeah.
different.
Because wouldn't Vail be a corporate sponsor?
They're definitely
They're
for
huge.
profit.
Yep.
What's the Blackburn Foundation? It's nonprofit.
Is not profit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So anything that's sponsored doesn't say Vail, it says Worcester Blackburn Foundation.
okay.
But they're not
they don't provide
considered,
us-
they're not considered a corporate partnership because they're a not-for-profit.
Yeah.
Okay. Celeste? Did you want to go?
No,
I'll just say
you did, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just would impress upon the board, the current policy says that this stuff will come to the board for ratification. It sounds like maybe not in every little instance that that's happening, but I agree with about, having to bring every little thing. But I would really strongly encourage the board to keep some level of oversight on the for-profit, only the for-profit and big dollar amounts. And just to follow up on what you said, Cynthia, I do think that it should be every time a big lump of money changes hands, not just the first instance that we do business with a vendor or have some kind of contractual agreement with a vendor, because this stuff is so slippery. I would feel uncomfortable not having some level of oversight, but I think everybody could.
Well, yeah, perhaps it's the initial, the initial contract or whatever. And X number of dollars. Maybe those two things on the corporate side.
Chris, did you want to?
Well, I just, yeah, I think it's, to Celeste's points, I think it's just really important, as people are saying, to just establish what we're talking about. Because we have our agreements, obviously, with Atrieve, with like lots of vendors through Focused Ed that is operational, I would say, and you approve the budget based on some of those things. So I don't think that's what we're talking about. So I like the idea. I think, Celeste, you even said for profit. And I would say, for me, anything over $5,000 or $10,000 seems reasonable to me, because we don't often get, you're not going to get a $5,000 amount for a draw or something for a fundraiser. But if it's big, like Coca-Cola, that's going to be at least $10,000, if not more. So I'm in support of what you folks are saying. Maybe 5 is even too little, because I don't know, Danielle, from your perspective, what makes sense. Now, Feeding Futures, that's money from the ministry. So again, like, you are aware of that. We do share that. So I kind of feel we do have those kinds of things covered. But if it were to be, again, Coca-Cola, a fossil fuel company or those kinds of things, right? And then, yes, I agree that you need to know that just for your public relations, right? And for governance. And are we aligning with our values and all those pieces?
Exactly.
So, to me, I wonder, does 10 seem reasonable?
I think that was the number that was in my head.
Melissa, you had your hand up?
Just for clarification, this is separate than if the PAC were doing something and having it matched by like Scotiabank or something, right?
Yes.
That's completely separate. Okay.
Now, there is this, in 1.2.3, we did have there is explicit that partner could not directly exploit students or exert pressure for any commercial enterprise. So I'm wondering if that
Where are you reading, Daniel, again?
1.2.3.
1.2.
That's not a dollar amount though.
Yeah,
But it does cover the
the
example I gave.
yeah, yeah.
Or say, for example, like a company donated lumber or wood products for a playground and then wanted their sign on it. That would.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we just
That-
had somebody donate like a whole bunch of benches that went to all of our schools, right?
Right.
So
And is their name on it?
I can't recall if their name's on there, but
I didn't see that. I don't know. Usually, no, we don't. Like, we will.
Yeah.
We've had missions in the past, and we say, "Oh yeah, we'll take this anonymously." So we have those checks and balances.
Right,
Like,
okay.
again, if McDonald's wanted to,
Yeah.
had bought binders, I want to donate 1,000 binders, we'll take them, but we'll take them as an anonymous donation.
Donation. You
And
don't
then
get
we
to
shut
put
the-
McDonald's on the
No.
outside of the binder.
Absolutely, and you can't name us in any, corporate
Tax free.
pamphlets, stuff like that. Yeah, we have that pretty tight already.
So, yeah, I see that, but I'm gonna speak first. Oh. So, that being said, and I think what I'm understanding, so this was a discussion item, could we separate, like we were saying, community partnerships and then also corporate sponsorships? And have a little more, reporting or what have you come with the corporate? And do you have enough information to take that and rewrite it?
yeah, we could give
Yeah.
it a shot.
Celeste, I see your hands up again.
Yeah, like I said before, I think at 1.1.1 would probably do the job, just like a sentence. With respect to 1.2.3, I had made the recommendation. I think that 1.2.5 kind of said the same thing, so I made a recommendation about combining those two. Just to say that whatever it says, the community partnership corporate sponsorships will recognize contributions in ways that do not directly or indirectly exploit students, blah, 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 blah. So just have it all under 1.2.3. And then I think for 1.2.7, it should say employee or trustee as proposed. That's it.
Okay, Cynthia, you had your hand up again?
Yeah, the last thing that I thought, and this is maybe a little like esoteric, but maybe not. 1.2.12, where it says are committed to socially responsible policies and practice. I worry that if you ever had some nefarious characters, that their idea of what is a socially responsible policy could greatly differ from the views of
Yeah,
our
good
boards.
point.
And so does that need more language to like clarify what sort of socially responsible policies and practices we believe in?
But we must be able to refer to section, because we have that policy.
Yeah, maybe if
So
there's
refer
even-
to this section.
Yeah.
Celeste, your hand?
Yeah. I think that actually maybe that is not even needed because under 1.2.1 it says our values and guiding principles of the school district. Or maybe that.
So then we get rid of 1.2.
So
Yeah, 1.2.
With the values and guiding.
is there a reason that
Yeah.
was added in?
You
There
know
must
what?
be a reason.
I think that would be good if you just scratched that whole. Are committed to socially responsible.
1.2.12.
Yeah. Never mind, glasses on, like, why can't I see? argument, yes, if you scratch that and then had it covered with 1.2.1, are consistent with I just think of what's going on in other parts of the world and what people are advocating for as being socially just and responsible, and their idea of that does not align with my idea. And so if you had bad actors, chances are it would never happen, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. It's true.
I still think it wouldn't be a bad idea to just have just a link to our guiding principles of the school district.
That might even be stronger.
Anything else?
So you'll just take that away and take it back.
We can bring it back. Perfect.
Sorry, so much work.
Sorry, and thank you.
Yeah,
It's a
thank
strange
you.
world we're living in.
Good
discussion.
Okay, do we have any questions of clarification from the public? Oh, we have motions. Are they there now? Okay, there's a recommendation there if anyone is prepared to do that.
Read it.
April?
That the policy can recommend the Board of Education approve policy 702 student fees and deposits and policy 902 school parent advisory council as presented.
Second, you, Cynthia? Are there any objections? Okay, seeing none, and that's carried.
Now, do we have any questions of clarification from the public?
I don't think so.
Okay, with that, then I think we've completed the business of this agenda and we are adjourned. So our next meeting is due to start at